everybody. Oh, you got it? You got the intro?
No.
No. I mean, you like to do things. Anyway, welcome everybody to another episode of On the Back Hash. Name said, we're Zach today. Um, it's been me and you a lot here lately.
We're BFFs.
It's been nice.
Yeah. We're the two favorites anyways. You because you're like the gracious host,
That's
the
right.
host with the most. And then I guess I'm probably either very liked or very disliked by the commentary.
You are the polar divide. You are the contention point. People either love you or hate you.
A spade's a spade.
Yeah. Listen, it takes people to challenge the norm
That's right.
to progress. So we're here today. We're going to do a really quick, or fairly quick. I say really quick. I don't think we ever do anything quickly ever. Um, but kind of give a quick recap of the BOA finals from last night or from Saturday night, or whenever this airs. It was. I just want to go ahead and start off by saying it was fantastic. Like every single band, just like not cliche because you probably know us by now. If someone did, we'd be like, man, that wasn't good. But every single band that made finals that night were top notch, just spot on, and just really enjoyed it. So we're running down the scores, kind of talk about maybe our favorites who may dig into the recap just a little bit. Just unravel a few things that happened and all that good stuff. So starting in 12th place actually we'll just do the announcements as they're announced. So the Esprit de Corps award went to William Mason High School. That's kind of the band that exhibits what it is to be a band, from sportsmanship to spirit and all of the things of the above. So William, that's a kind of an honored award that you people sometimes people take those for granted, but like for BOA, that award is really cool. So congratulations to William Mason on the Esprit de Corps award. 12th place, 88.9, was Fishers High School out of Indiana. 11th place was Brownsburg High School with an 89.35. 10th place was Keller High School out of Texas with a 90.2. And 9th place was Bentonville High School, I think Arkansas, with a 90.45. Right ahead of them by 0.2 was Round Rock High School with a 90.65. Then in 7th place was Pearland High School with a 91.8. 6th place with a 94.35 was Mason High School. And 5th place was the Woodlands with a 95.025. Your Rose Bowl Parade invitation for 2025 goes to the Woodlands High School, which I think is pretty well deserved. Outstanding music performance went to Hebron High School, and if you watched or heard them, you would understand why. Because, good Lord. In 4th place was Blue Springs High School with a 95.075. They were also your Class 3A champions. Outstanding visual performance went to Avon High School. In 3rd place was Hebron High School with a 95.7. 2nd place was Carmel High School with a 97.275. And then your BOA Grand National Champions and Outstanding General Effect winners with a 97.475 was Avon High School. So, shout out to Avon for winning them. I think they've won this before, so winning another national championship. And one of the things that's really cool about Avon, of course, we're kind of some big DCI heads, but Matt Harloff, who is famed, probably more so, used to be at least, for being the brass caption head for Carolina Crown. was the band director at Avon. I didn't know this. He's been the assistant band director there forever,
Mm-hmm.
and just took over the reins this year. Um, and there's been a post. So if you're into the marching arts at all, you have
Mm-hmm.
probably seen this post on Facebook with him and his daughter that somebody posted. But and it just basically talk about, one of the quotes out there is, "The grass is greener where you wet it," and with society being such an instant gratification, I want it now type of society, some people don't appreciate the process that it takes to build anything, let alone a band program. And he was there for a long time, got a shot, and those kids believed in his product, and that's the reward that he gets for doing so. So, congrats to him for that. I'm sure that was a big moment for him, especially being able to do that alongside his daughter. I'm sure that was extra super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Um, so yeah. So how you want to do? Do you just want to talk about run down the shows real quick, or do you want to talk about some of your favorites? All
I'm good with whatever, man.
right. Well,
It's just fun.
um, so let's just kind of talk about things, and I'll just go in placement order as far as I can remember because I have slept since then. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Fishers, hooray!
Yeah.
um, they did a show called The Holidays with a Z E, and they did some of your, some pretty cool holiday favorites, Nutcracker Suite, and they played Carol of the Bells, and I think they did something else, but they did it all with just jazz style.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very cool. Very, very stylistic. Like I don't why it wasn't as far as like technically flourishing as a lot of other groups. I'm a big component of playing things with style, and that show just oozed it. It was just really, really cool to see the setup and a lot of really, really cool elements in that show.
Yeah, I dug that show a lot. Um, it was kind of it was nice because they were kind of right in the middle.
Hmm.
It was just the right. I'd say the term palate cleanse a lot, but it was so different and just very enjoyable. There was something in that show that anybody could take from it. Whether it was because they were playing classic music that everybody knows, or because of the whimsiness of it, or just the way it made you feel.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I agree. For those that may not understand what you mean by the term palate cleanse when you say that, can you kind of explain that?
Yeah, so a lot of times in this activity, you get a lot of shows that are very similarly um, blocked out, so to speak, or they're either all very aggressive, or they're all very brass heavy, or they're all dark, or something like that. And then you get one that's kind of in the middle, that's just like a complete 180 from what you've been seeing or hearing for the last two or three groups. Um, so it's kind of nice. It's like if you've been eating the same food for 2 or 3 days in a row or something, and then you get something different, and it just makes you appreciate something else that's different than what you've been um, seeing or hearing out of the last four or five groups. Like I know in the percussion world in WGI, like especially in Scholastic A, like there for a while, everybody wanted to do a dark aggressive show, and it's like after seeing so many of those over and over and over again, it was nice to see like a soft or a happy show. Um, so Fisher's was a nice break from, not that Bentonville, Brownsburg, Round Rock, Pearland, and Keller's shows were all the same, but Fisher's was just so different from theirs.
Mm.
It came at a good time.
Yep, I agree. It's one of those where to you want to stand out, and want an easy way for you to stand out is to play something that's completely different than what everybody else is in, or at least in a different style. And Fishers definitely did that with that particular show that they were asking to do. So shout out to them. Really enjoyed it. I, I at some point we were planning on doing a Christmas show. I don't think we can. We're gonna have to sit on that one for a minute now. um,
It's my second favorite Christmas show. First being the Cadets 12.25.
yeah, and honestly, like that's kind of the crazy thing. When you mention that, because of course, anytime now, and if I hear anybody saying they're doing a Christmas show, that is the show that I automatically go to, and I'm just like, I really hope that they don't just try to mimic that, and they didn't. They went
Mm-hmm.
a really different direction, and I think you're starting to see that more often now. Is that different direction as far as like, okay, this concept has been done. How are we going to do this concept but make it our own, put our own spin on it? Um, so it's kind of stretching people's imagination a little bit, which is good, which is really, really good. Like that's what you want to happen. So kudos to Fisher. Brownsburg. I'm trying to think.
I think they were the Pipe Dream show.
No, that's Avon.
No, Avon did pictures and exhibition.
That's right. Were they the pipe dream?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so.
I have to look. I don't. I thought that was in the second half.
Mm, I don't think so.
Okay. Yep, you're right. Pipe dreams. Um.
Knew it.
Listen, watching 12 shows, and there was no break, so there was really no processing time.
There's a
Um.
couple that I don't remember, so I'm hoping you do.
listen, I'm I'm YouTube and stuff just to get pictures and stuff in my head. Because if I could see the picture, I can remember the show.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Pipe Dream Show for Brownsburg. Really, really cool. Like they did a really good job with those pipes. Like they
Yes.
opened the show and like the whole, I don't know how they did it. And I know I can't see, so they might have just been hiding in plain sight and I just didn't catch it. But like they were all behind the pipes. The prop work was really smartly done and
Yes.
really effective.
Yeah, it created a good visual, and props to that drill writer because I don't know how you write for all those kids out there, but also all the props at the same time. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't want any part of that.
No, it's hard enough moving kids' dots, and
Exactly.
and now you gotta figure out everybody else. Um, so yeah, that was fun. But no, it was a really cool show. I really liked the music. I can't remember what they played. It's all running together. I should have taken notes. I'm such a horrible person. But they they did the really cool visual. Was it them with the uniform? They had the really cool like did some really cool ripple effects with the purple and the blue, pink and the blue.
Yes, it was pink on one half, blue on the
Hmm.
other. And yes, they used that uniform very well.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of like I said, I remember more from that visual package um, than I did anything else. But it was very enjoyable to watch. Like I can see why they've been ranked all year from Horn Rank. Um, I think in the last rankings before Grand Nets, they were sitting 18th. So sitting right outside a final spot. But a lot of those groups that were in the top 20 did not go. We could talk about that at some other point too. 11th, 10th place was Keller High School. They did the show Asylum. Um, they had a few different tarps on each side coming out of the end zone, and then One coming from the top down to the 50 with a little,
Yeah,
some
like a
real,
spiral staircase kind of deal.
yeah. Um, but we didn't, I know initially we was like, what's the name of the show? Um,
I still don't know what it's called.
Asylum. Spelled ELLYSIUM.
Elysium?
Elysium, yeah, excuse me. Even though he made it sound like Asylum when he announced it.
Hmm.
Um, but very ethereal show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember now they started in this big, huge concert art that condensed down. Um, just lots of really, really cool stuff going through it.
Was this their first
Um,
um finals?
Finals, what?
Was this their first time making finals at Grand Nationals? There's a
It might
couple
have
groups.
been because there was a
There's
few
a
groups
couple
that
groups
either
who
it's
that
either their
never made
first
it
year or
very
their
much.
second year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They also had one of the tightest pass throughs that if somebody would have sneezed. Um, I was I was sitting there like, if some kid just doesn't do what they're supposed to do, somebody's gonna get hurt. I don't know what they're gonna do. So, but no, very cool. Um, in ninth place was Bentonville High School. Um, I believe they was their first time for sure. Um, making Granite's finals. Um, really, really like their show. Um, with the called Sunflower,
Yes.
and they did a lot of really good stuff, cool stuff with their drill um, colors, and we joked about this. How yellow was like the theme of the year,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I I think they did a really really good job with that because that's a busy color. If you're not clean, that could just look like a mess. Um, did a really good arrangement of "Here Comes the Sun" towards the end.
Yes.
Lots of references to suns through the drill.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they manipulate drill in and out of
Oh, they
in
were the
and out
ones
of the sunflowers.
they started out and they made all the petals of the sunflower
Mm-hmm.
at the very beginning and made the
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, one of their cool drill moves was they made the sun with the pointy rays coming off of it, and then they bent it straight and
Mm-hmm.
kept the form fairly well. Um, but they do a lot of, and we saw this a lot of ripple type moves, drill moves throughout the whole night, just to manipulate funds. But yeah, the pedal set at the beginning, super cool. Then they end with all the rays of the sun and then coming out. It was just a really really cool visual package. Um, kind of going through it. So kudos to them. Like one of my favorites of the night for me. It just made sense. It was just really good. So, and then Round Rock. Round Rock did Round Rock things as they typically do. With their show Luminous. Um, really cool ideas with the light. I wonder if they wanted to do more with it.
I don't know. I think one of the things that I noticed about it was their uniforms, the bottoms of their pants went from yellow to a green color,
Hmm.
and I think they had green shoes on too, and I think that really hurt them visually. Like I think it kind of muddied up what they were doing. Now I don't know if that translated to scores, but that's something that I noticed was that um, I just think the uniform didn't help them any. Kind of reminded me of when, oh, remember when Crown did the space show and the blue pants kind of
Mm-hmm.
hurt him? I think that's that kind of same thing.
Um, could be. I mean, that's we when we talk about design and things of that nature, um, a color choice, um,
Hmm.
could make or break you sometimes. And this is where people argue about the activities. Like, well, if they just march in regular uniforms and they don't have to worry about that, and I get that. That's a valid point. But at the same time, it's just like, well, when everybody's on almost equal playing field
Yeah.
as far as playing goes, like, you know, if here's the weird thing about it, I guess, is if you truly want an even shot, you have to do one or two things. You either have to, one, everybody play and march the same drill with the same number of people, or you give everybody the same amount of resources
Hmm.
and say, okay, you can only spend this amount of money. Um, and then you have to make a show with that amount of money. Um, like that's only about the only way you can make it even. Um, but even that's not as even because then well, somebody who's band director can write drill or write music can
Hmm.
save their band you know
Yep.
$2,000 or $3,000 just by doing that, and then they can spend that money elsewhere. So of course we know these things will happen, and it is. But if you ever truly want it to be a fair thing, like that's what has to happen, and nobody
Mm.
wants that. I don't guess nobody
No.
wants that. Like nobody wants that. Like the beauty of an art is it's an art, and anybody can express it the same way.
Hmm.
Even if you made somebody like, hey, all right, we're gonna do a theme this year. This year the theme is the color yellow. Basically, what it was this year anyway. Uh, and see how people can stretch their imaginations to make the color yellow work. Um,
Hmm.
you know, but I digress. But I got to catch Framework a couple of times, and the second time I watched it, I did not look at the screens in the back, so I don't know.
See, I didn't realize that there were screens back there. They just looked white to me.
And that's what I was about to say because I was just like, yeah, they changed colors and everything. So I really wonder if those screens had the effect that they really wanted them to use, because I wanted them to have, because they never moved. They never moved, and really, the only, from what I could tell, only the middle ones, the middle like 3 to 5, were like the only ones that were doing anything like what. So I wonder from a design standpoint if that did them any favors. But I mean, obviously they marched and they played well. To separate these guys, you guys talk about some of the nitty gritty. Um, and some of the choices that were made. So, you know, there it is. Uh, Pearland High School with Luminosity, uh, which I think was about moons. Um,
Hmm.
and they had a bunch of crescent props out there. They also had some pretty cool prop manipulation
Yeah.
as well throughout the show.
They had they had some Wasn't it at the beginning? The whole beginning was just all brass, and the woodwinds just spent the whole opener like moving props the whole time.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
are you
Well,
kidding
they
me?
did some drill, but
Like,
it was
no,
a
but
lot of.
and then they're like,
But
oh
now I
yeah,
know what
here's our
you mean.
woodwind section, and they're like just playing 80,000 notes. It's like that's fine. That's you go.
Yeah, their brass starts in the center and then folds out into a triangle. Does a big fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
Um, take some liberties with the fanfare, with a lot of triple tonguing and double tonguing. Um, and then as people continue to add on to that triangle.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it started off really really strong. Um, Once again, a lot of yellow. We saw like a lot of yellow and pink.
Yep.
We joked and said there was a memo um, that if you use those colors, you got extra bonus points or something.
Yes.
So, but yeah, but very cool show. That's the first I think I've ever seen that band. Didn't we hear like that band that school's only been
That
in existence for like
well,
5 years or something?
this was their first trip to BOA Grand Nationals ever,
Yeah.
and they made finals. And they weren't just there; they were seventh.
hmm Yeah, like if you gonna make it, might as well do something with it while you made it. So, but yeah, so good for them. Like I said, enjoyed it. It's great stuff. Um, William Mason. Yeah, that show was just pretty.
Oh, they used their uniform so well. The full the full ensemble with those capes and stuff.
Mhm.
And then I looked up
Uh,
and they were all gone. All the capes were off. I said, "Where'd their capes go?"
the only reason why I think I caught it was because I was like, "Ooh, that's neat product, neat partner work that they were doing in the middle of it." Um, the show was called Enchanted Promises. Um, and like we kind of alluded to, like they had these kits for the uniforms and
Mhm.
um, just used really really well. Like I was really mesmerized with their visual package. I was just in general a lot of everybody's visual packages. I was just like, this is really good.
Yep. They used the whole field. The whole
Yeah.
field. And then they started and ended opposite. They all started in the end zone and they kind of floated out, made these like diamond shapes that
hmm
went across, and then they ended it in reverse order and they ended in the opposite end zone. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had a few good. I think Pearland kind of ended to show how they. No, it was somebody else. Somebody else ended to show how they started it.
Hmm.
Um, so we saw that. I kind of run through, but um, the music was really, really pretty too. Just the aesthetic that they set with the visual and audio
Yes.
coordination was very spot on. Shout out to the woodwind choirs and brass choir that's had solos up front.
Hmm.
Um, it's very, very artistically virtuosic playing. It was just a solid show, like from front to bottom, from front to back. Enjoyed it. Who's that? The woodwinds? Hebron. Or no, wait a minute, not Hebron. Blue Springs.
No,
Um, huh?
you skipped
What
some.
did you
I
say?
think we skipped somebody.
No,
You just did William
we did.
Mason, right?
Oh, the Woodlands. I
The
did. Sorry.
Woodlands.
I saw W.
Come on, man.
Yep. And I probably my second or third favorite show of the night for me personally.
Mm.
Um, Kind of had a old school vibe to it. If you jump core fan, my Spanish Shark with the Blue Devils, just some really good stuff. Let's talk about that guard though.
Ridiculous.
Sheesh.
Ridiculous.
I was like, they're trying to win WGI right now.
Yep.
Just um, their opening segment, they're all on side one, and I mean they're not just spinning it. The drill is very intricate
Mm-hmm.
while they're doing all of this crazy, work. It's just good. It's just real good. Brad sets them up really, really nice, and then um, a very Latin influenced show with following the music that they were playing.
It was great.
Um, it reminded me of like old school, like late '80s, early '90s, but with a really good modern twist. And um,
Mm.
well, yes, they had stages and backdrops on the floor, but it they didn't need them. They used them, but they didn't have to have them.
It reminded me. We talked about this last night while we were watching because I said it made me think of Blue Coats. It gave me
Hmm.
Blue Coats vibes, and then that's when you said, "Well, that's basically BD late '80s," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Well, I wasn't alive for that." So,
yeah, you were.
um, but yeah, it just kind of just the way the music was designed. They had a solid bass line. Like it gave me a lot of Blue Coats feel.
It was very stylized in the
Hmm.
form of Blue Coats or Blue Devils, either one, honestly. They did do, the guitar, the downside up guitar ring at the end of the opener and closer, um,
Hmm.
which had that Blue Coats vibe to it. But yeah, it was just a really, they just marched and they just played really, really well. And like I said, that guard was just
They did.
outstanding. Um, like I said, I appreciated it for what it was because sometimes shows can be super esoteric and I don't get it. And it could be like, well, that guard member was supposed to be this. It's like, I didn't see the guard member. So, like, I
Hmm.
really get excited with drill. Um, just something that catches my eye drill wise, helps me to see things. Like when I was watching the show, they made a big W on the field. Um,
Hmm.
and I was like, yeah, that's dope. Like I like that type of stuff. Like things that make your group identifiable and give the kids that get excited like, oh, this is the W set. Oh snap. Um, like things like that. So I really enjoyed the Woodlands. Happy that you got to be selected for the Rose Bowl parade. Um,
Hmm.
and it's gonna be they're gonna be awesome. So now Blue Springs did a show about being born. Crazy concept.
Yeah, I just kind of sat there with my mouth open for most of it, like
We were both
trying to
quiet. We were sitting there
trying
watching
to
it.
process my existence and the purpose of my birth.
Right?
Like it definitely gave me some classic Blue Knights vibes. You know, when Blue Knights had that streak of shows in the 2014, 2015, 2016, um, especially like when you talk about that 1 second and because and those shows like that. This Blue Spring show gave me those vibes.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it was. I was confused because I saw the fingerprint stuff at first. I was like, oh, maybe it's like a identity secret agent something or other. I don't know. But
Hmm.
then they were like talking about childbirth, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. Very, very deep. And they played well. I think they had some of the best body
mm,
work that I've seen all night.
yes,
Um, those kids are trained to dance
hmm,
for sure. Um, but really cool, very enjoyable. They're your Class 3A champions, um, by the way. So, and you can see why. Very
hmm,
strong finish, winning Class 3A and finishing fourth. That's a very mature concept, and those kids put it off really, really, really well. So good for them. And then your bronze medalist, Hebron High School, also known as Santa Clara Vanguard, because you ain't finna tell me
It's not fair.
They, good Lord, musically they went after it, and I mean they got after it. Like, I mean,
Moments where all you could do was just laugh. Like,
yeah,
ridiculous.
because you're like, these are high school kids,
Hmm.
like high school kids staying above the staff on trumpet. Like, it's, I swear somebody came in and switched the horn line book with a drum corps, and the band director's just like, well, we'll just roll with it. Or somebody was mad at somebody because
Yeah. They weren't playing. They weren't playing
no, they were
very
playing.
well.
They
Well,
were playing.
they, they weren't playing no games with nobody. That was just not fair.
um, and I was sitting there and I was watching like I was like, my head says they should win, but I had to look at it objectively,
Yeah.
and the visual package wasn't what the top twos were. Um, or it just didn't have enough. There was a cool moment. They bring out these flags, and I don't can't design. I don't know how flags work, but it's designed to where when they spun, it just did something to your eyeballs. I don't know what it was. It was it was a really cool moment. For them, I was like, these flags are dope. I don't know who picked them or who designed them, but kudos to
Hmm.
them for that. But besides that, for me, I think from a visual standpoint, it was probably just a little bit, and I'm talking like I hate even saying anything negative about any of these groups because they're better than any band that I've been a part of. But it was just a little bit on the raw side from a visual standpoint, and I think it's one of those rare occasions I think where the music was so good that it
Hmm.
distracted you from the visual.
I can see that.
You know, because from a visual standpoint, that's about the only part that I really remember was that flag feature that I was talking about with those flags. But besides that, it's just like I was just you're getting assaulted with just playing over and over again. Um, it was something else for sure. Um,
Definitely,
so
if there was to be like a fan favorite though,
oh yeah,
it would probably be the winner.
oh yeah. If like I'm thinking my Facebook feed was just like Hebron what like
Yeah.
these kids are just
Holy Hebron, Batman.
yeah, just all types of stuff, and it's just like yeah, they were legit, and rightly so. One outstanding music performance, so
Hmm.
it was something to hear. So if you hadn't seen it, I'm sure there's a YouTube video out somewhere. Just go
Run,
find it.
don't walk to YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, because you will not be disappointed. Um, Second place, Carmel. Yeah, another one. And when they came off, when they got done, actually, they didn't weren't done yet. I think I watched their opener and was like, nobody's gonna beat this. It's so clean. It was so clean. Like I'm looking to see if I can catch anything or hear anything, and I couldn't. I was just like, I don't know what can beat this. You know, yeah, Hebron beat them in music, but the visual wasn't the same
Hmm.
as Carmel's. And then to do that, playing the Metamorphosis Symphony, the Hymnimith, which there are plenty of bands who can't play that sitting down,
Just ridiculous.
but you're gonna do it on the move. Like from a marching band purist, they should have loved that show. Like because no props, they did body, but it wasn't to the extent of a lot of other groups.
Hmm.
You know, all their body really did this accent. They were really like you know engine up top, tires on the bottom. Like they were concert musicians on the way up, and they were military precision marchers on the way down. You know,
Yeah.
it was amazing. Like I thought they won. I really did. Like it was just that good. Um, I've gushed about it enough. What you guys say?
Um, I thought it was good. I was kind of, if I'm going to be honest, it kind of was boring to me.
Mhm.
Um, but I can appreciate what they did, especially musically. Because like you said, some groups can't play that well sitting down, and they're playing that well standing up, and there's like 300 of them out there.
Yeah,
Uh, it's concert band on the field.
yeah. I mean, it was super well done, and you know that show for me is that like the type of show that I typically like to watch. No, but the excellence of execution was so high, it made you
Hmm.
watch.
Yep.
It made you watch. It made you listen and say, "Are they going to falter anywhere?"
Yep.
Um, and I think the only reason why they lost music is because Hebron just went after it.
Yep.
They just went after it,
Well, they got
and
the ensemble caption.
yeah, which makes sense.
Hmm.
It makes sense. Um, but it was it was good. Like if they would have won, I wouldn't. I would have been like, okay. um, but your champion pulled it off
Guess who?
and won it in with effect. Not only did they take outstanding visual performance, but they also took outstanding visual performance as well. Sorry. Exception. Outstanding general effect as well. Sorry. Um, and that was your Avon High School marching band out of Indiana by 2/10 of a point. So it was close. Um,
Hmm.
it was super close. But seeing them win the visual caption and seeing them win general effect, I agree with that just because it was a little bit more. I mean, I think the vocabulary that was being asked for them visually
Yep.
was a little bit more than what Karma was being asked, and I think their use. I mean, it's gonna sound really funny, but like their use of props, it that might have been the difference, and they used them well, and it made sense for what they were doing.
Yep.
Playing Zach's favorite piece.
When I saw the name of the show, I said, "Oh no." But no, it was it wasn't your typical here's pictures at an exhibition straight out of the book type
Mhm,
show. And like you said, I think the use of the props, because I know a lot of groups have props where they just sit and they help frame the field and like pull in the aesthetic and stuff that yeah, but like they laid those props down, they lifted them up, they folded them into these triangle things, and they put them around people, then they went in them, they went through them, they went over them. It's like they were incorporating them into what they were doing,
mhm,
um, and I don't know, it just definitely amped up the effect side of things for them.
yeah, um, for sure. And drill wise, there were
Yeah.
frames happening throughout the entire
Yep.
um, throughout the entire course of the show. And then music wise, yes, they did pictures of the exhibition, but they changed the setting around. They just didn't play it straight up.
Nope.
They put these spins on them, made very good modal choices, um, and just thought about it really well. And then once they explored all of those avenues about how they could make this work and make this fresh, make this different, then they end the show with a more classic version
Hmm.
of the actual piece, and it worked. It
Yep.
worked because you know it's funny. I think people could hear parts of picture exhibition, like yeah, that's picture exhibition, but like, do they know all of it? Like, could they hear something like that's not one of the more memorable parts of it and know
Hmm.
that that's what that piece was? And I think Avon did a really good job of piecing that stuff together. And there's a little bit of that Mike Harloff touch on it
Yep.
because there was one part we listened to like, God dog, was that Crown?
Yep.
Where did they come
There's
from?
definitely some Crown flavor in that design for sure.
So, um, but yeah, just very well done, very well executed. Like I said, you could have personally they got the order right. I could see you flip flopping Carmel and Avon, and I can see you flip flopping Hebron in the Woodlands maybe. Um,
And Blue Springs, those all three were pretty tight.
yeah, yeah. I personally just off of aesthetics, I probably would have had Blue Springs fifth. Um, maybe six because I really like William Mason as well. That's the thing. I I don't think there was a show I just didn't like.
Yeah.
Like, like every group had something that I liked about it. Um, Keller was a little bit forgettable for me. Um, it was done well. I just
Hmm.
like that's the one that I mean I remember watching it, but it was like
Yeah.
what did they play?
Between Keller and Round Rock for me are the ones that I I couldn't tell you other than what their uniforms look like. I couldn't tell you what any of the music was that they played or if there was anything that really just stuck out. But I mean, not to say that it wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta like I said, you have to remember. We hadn't got a lot of chance to see um, some of these groups in,
Hmm.
and because of that, it was our first read, and so when you're reading something for the first time and you have to remember it the next day, it's like, it's a
So,
little bit much.
um, I went back and looked, and all these groups, other than, I'll just say this: William Mason, Carmel, Avon, and Woodlands are the only groups that were in finals this year that had been there more than 5 times.
Mhm.
Everybody else was five or under. Like, just going in finish order.
Mhm.
Um, Fishers, that was their second finals appearance. Brownsburg, that was their second finals appearance. Keller, second finals appearance. Bentonville, first finals appearance. Round Rock, fifth finals appearance. Uh, Pearland, that was their first finals appearance, first time ever going to Grand Nationals. Um, William Mason, that was their 11th finals appearance. Woodlands, that was their 12th finals appearance.
Mhm.
Uh, Blue Springs, their fifth finals appearance. Hebron, that was only their third finals appearance.
That's crazy.
And then Carmel was their 27th finals. And then Avon, that was their 21st. So you're
Yeah.
looking at a third of those groups have been there 5 times or less.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, let's think about who didn't go.
Well, yeah.
Vandergrift didn't go. Tarpon Springs didn't go.
Broken
Marcus,
Arrow.
Broken Arrow, Vista Ridge, Flower Mound, Ronald Reagan, Rouse, Copper, Cedar Park, LD Bell, um, O'Fallon, Dobbins Bennett, Leander,
Yep.
Wakeland, um, like Fair,
But it's
like
like DCI this year. When those groups don't go, who's going to take advantage of that extra spot?
exactly,
And you saw it.
exactly,
You had two that had never been to finals, but one group that never been to Grand Nationals before ever, and they don't just get there; they're in seventh. You kidding
yeah,
me? But I mean, like, and then you've got like a group like CTJ who usually makes finals who missed the cut
yeah.
this year.
So
So I
14th.
mean, yeah, those groups. I mean, obviously shout out to everybody, but shout out to those groups who are breaking in there and putting their name in the pot.
Yeah, it was
It's not easy.
no, not at all. So I think all those spots are well deserved. We would be remiss not to shout out all of our bluegrass folks
Yes.
um, for representing Kentucky well. Bourbon County, uh, making sure Kentucky gets back that Class A title
Right.
because that's where it belongs.
Yep.
Kentucky bands do small bands right. I don't know why we're so good at that, but um, so yeah. So shout out to Bourbon County for winning Class A. I think Estill County was third in Class A,
Hmm.
and Beechwood was fourth, I believe, in Class A. Um, all those groups made semis, so shout out to them. And then we had a couple of groups, Christian County and Grayson County, were 36th and 38th, respectively. So they almost made semifinals. So that's huge for them. Um, and then there's a few other. Meade County was there. I'm going to miss a bunch.
Woodford
But
County,
Woodford County,
Christian
Cal,
Academy.
Christian County of Louisville, Ohio County was there. Uh, so lots of Kentucky groups went up, represented well.
Hmm.
So shout out to them for doing the thing for the bluegrass. And we also had good representation at Mid States Championship, which was the weekend before as well. I think Campbell County finished second to William Mason, if that lets you know how good they were. Um, um, Campbell County, Taylor County, I believe, won 2A. Nicholas County won 1A. I think 2A was swept by Kentucky groups. I think I have to go back and look. And then Kentucky took first and third in 1A. So like, um, our state, you can do marching band a little bit, a little bit. We got it.
We don't have 400 kids in our bands, but
Yeah, we barely got 400 people in our school.
right.
Some of them. But it's one of those. Kentucky's still got some things to figure out. We joke about Texas being Texas, but Texas is what it is because they value music education as a whole. There, um, it's and people wonder why. And I always tell the story to my kids, and I was just like, "Well, Texas is a football state, and what happens at football games? The band plays." And they want to have good bands at these stadiums. Because if you have not seen a high school Texas football stadium, it is immaculate. And Friday Night Lights is a real thing in Texas.
Hmm.
Um, you know, but they want good bands, and they know if they want good bands, they have to pour money into it. So they do. Um, and then you get half of Grand Nation's finals every year,
Basically.
if not more. So, um, and Kentucky just happens to be a basketball state. So, yeah. But I digress. So, any closing thoughts, Zacharias?
Don't cry because it's over. Cry because it happened.
Yeah,
I don't know what that saying is, but yeah, no. It's always kind of bittersweet when the marching season's over, but then that also means that we're a couple weeks away from indoor season and a couple months away from spring training.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the circle never
It's-
stops.
it never does. Now, granted, we'll probably be on a little bit of a lull,
Hmm.
late November, December, January, but we got some things lined up. You're probably going to see some reacts from us, um,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. A couple of interviews.
Yeah.
So now would be a fantastic time to, in the comment section,
Drop us
let
some
us know who you want to.
reaction.
Yeah, tell us who you want us to watch. We can react to some folks because we'll have some time and we'll need some
Hmm.
content to throw up, um, and things of that nature. So we'll take whatever in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. It's all free. Like I said, this is fun for us, and we wanted to share the love of the
Yeah.
pageantry art with everybody around. So we're about, I think, about 17 away from another milestone of 250 subscribers on the YouTube. Apparently, we're doing well on Apple Podcasts. I don't know because I don't have Apple products, uh, but apparently doing well there. Um, and I think even on Spotify too. So I know not everybody's watching on YouTube, but we got people listening to us, which is really really cool.
Hmm.
So in any of those areas, comments, let us know what you want us to talk about
Yeah.
or react to,
Hit us up on our socials.
and on the back hash on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And then, like I said, you can find us on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. So we everywhere. We everywhere. So, well, man, it's been a great marching band season, and like I
Yes.
said, indoor groups have already started auditioning or have auditioned. I know we started Monday, um, so here we are again, ready to do this. So, so stay in touch. We ain't going nowhere, and all that good gravy. So for that, um, and Chris and Will, and my name's Cedric. This has been one of those episodes of On the Back Ash. I should stop keeping up with numbers. I think we're 60. This is either 60 or 61. I can't remember.
Oh
Anyway.
my goodness. Senior
I know,
citizen
right?
discount.
Woohoo! AARP. Let's go.
Right.
So, so from us to you guys, take care. We'll holler at you guys soon. And we are
Dud,
dut
dud, out.
out.